Mishke here, joining the GL world to pitch my new podcast, which now comes out twice a week, Wednesdays and Fridays. The show features an extraordinary array of exotic circus performers, forgotten Hollywood starlets, reclusive Fortune 500 CEOs, professional taxidermists. Wait a minute, that's a different promo. Where's the promo for GLers? Here it is. Let's try this again. Mishke here, pitching my new podcast. We're out of time? Could I do it again?
Josh Arnold, investment consultant, brings you Garage Logic podcast number 1667, November 24, 2025. 60 degrees, a record high on this day. That was back in 2017, and it was 10 below in 1893. In these strange times, do yourself a favor. Call Josh Arnold at 952-925-5608 for a free 48-minute consultation.
Hello. Hail the flashlight king.
Hail you! And now, from the mayor's office above the boathouse on the east shore of Spoon Lake, it's Garage Logic with Chris Reavers manning Technology Corner, Kenny Olson from the Krabby Coffee Shop, John Heidt in the newsroom, and of course, the rookie. Here is your flashlight king, fireworks commissioner, and the keeper of common sense, your mayor, Joe Souchere.
I texted Pat over the weekend, and now that I think of it, I didn't hear back. There was a picture, the play picture, in the Star Tribune sports section Saturday, was a Toronto woman hockey player and a Frost woman hockey player. And the caption was, "Fighting for the puck." And the two of them could not have been reaching farther away for the puck. And it looked like two women trying to avoid a mouse. And it was, I thought, a hilarious caption to say, "Fighting for the puck." There was no...
Words have meaning is what you've said in the past.
That's right.
Yeah.
I have said that. President Donald Trump announced Friday night. We were gone. We had left the boathouse on the shore of Spoon Lake.
Did you have a nice weekend?
He announced Friday night he is ending a special program for Somali nationals in Minnesota, which partially shields them from deportation. He was terminating TPS immediately, temporary protected status. I'm not sure that he can. And he noted that under walls, the state has become a hotbed of money laundering and violence from Somali gangs. Minnesota under walls is a hub of fraudulent money laundering activity. I am, as President of the United States, hereby terminating, effective immediately, the temporary protected status for Somalis in Minnesota. Somali gangs are terrorizing the people of that great state, and billions of dollars are missing. Send them back to where they came from. It's over, the president continued. Well, this was Don. It's great theater. Mm-hmm. It means nothing. First of all, we don't know how many fraudsters, for example, are here under temporary status, temporary restricted status. We don't know that. And two, there's 90,000 Somalis in the metro or Minnesota, and 500 of them have this status.
Yep.
So it's, the way Trump goes about it makes it sound as though those receiving the status or carrying that card are the ones responsible for the fraud. And we don't know that. We don't know that. I mean, he's on the right track.
Why? Tell me why this is good.
Because it might put the fear of God into the others who haven't committed fraud yet but are thinking about it.
And there's a bigger umbrella reason, the one I've been thinking about all weekend.
That'll help me.
To deter new immigrants from doing that?
I recognize everything you just said. Nothing's going to come from this.
No.
The good that I think it's doing is it's now Minnesota's fraud problem is now a national topic.
Yep.
Everybody knows what a shit show this state is and how this governor has run it into the ground.
Yep.
It's now a national topic, and that's good.
I would say it became a national topic within the last 10 days.
So you think
It did.
Christy Nome being here is not by
She's
mistake?
been here twice now.
Not by mistake.
It did, Joe, but this really, now everybody knows.
Right.
You had to, previous to this, you had to really follow the news to know about this.
Yep.
Now people that normally don't follow the news, that hate Trump, and that's fine. I don't care whether you love him or hate him. This really brings our situation to light, and even better so, shows how ineffective Walz is as a leader.
It's almost the same thing, Kenny, when Walz was thrown in for the VP race. Like us, Alpha, maybe a couple other outlets covered this, but he didn't get hammered to the degree that he did once he received the VP nomination.
Yeah, I'd buy that.
He didn't get hammered once he received the VP.
Nationally?
he did.
God, yeah, he
Yeah.
did.
Well,
no.
but not for fraud. He
No.
got hammered for being a dork.
Yeah, for being a laughing stock.
Okay, true.
That's fine. Whatever. As long as he's getting hammered, I'm happy.
No, in fact, I think that says a great deal about conventional news gatherers, that they were more than happy to
Yeah, you're right.
to pick up on the folksy neighborly buffoon aspect, but they never ever mentioned fraud. Ever didn't come up.
What I would call criminal conduct, but
Yeah.
it's technically not, as far as we know right now.
Well, this is, what am I reading? I'm reading an Alpha piece. If you want to stay knowledgeable about what's happening, you can't rely on the Star Tribune.
No.
And you can't rely on the Pioneer Press. You can't rely on the Star Tribune because I think they take steps to avoid it, and you can't rely on the Pioneer Press because there just aren't the staff members. No, there's a big distinction.
I agree with you completely.
You can. So here's what you always should be checking every day: AmericanExperiment.org, Alpha News, the Minneapolis Times, the Sahan Journal, the Minneapolis Reformer. We're very fortunate. Oddly enough, we have a lot of alternative sites that are making an attempt to cover the news that just isn't getting covered by the conventional news gatherers. And
our friends downstairs do a decent job.
5 does a very good job,
Yep.
and 11 tries to hang in there. 4 is useless. They're on the you're not going to get anything from them, So
How to keep your dog safe during
they got a lot of that.
Bring
How to
them in
keep the ornaments out of your dog's trap, stuff like that. But this Alpha News story goes on that to say Minnesota's Somali community channeled untold millions of taxpayer dollars to Al-Shabaab, a radical Islamic terrorist organization affiliated with Al-Qaeda and based in the East African nation. City Journal reported November 19. We covered that on Friday. A jury convicted an Al-Shabaab member in 2024 of conspiring to commit a planned 9/11-style terror attack. Minnesota had an estimated Somali population of 79,000, the largest of any American state, according to 2019-2023 statistics compiled by Minnesota Compass. I don't know what that group is. Of this group, a majority, 55.8%, were foreign-born, with 78.1% living in the Twin Cities. It's not surprising that the president has chosen to broadly target an entire community. That's what he does to change the subject, Walz said. So Walz immediately does what Walz has done. He just got into his obfuscating, gaslighting mode and said, this is all Trump's fault.
Yeah.
Tim, I don't know what's going to make you realize it. Possibly your defeat will make you realize it.
And nobody can change the subject quicker than him. Yeah. It's funny that he's pointing that out in others.
Democratic Minnesota Rep Ilhan Omar, who was born in Somalia, responded to Trump's announcement, stating she and other Somali Americans are here to stay. I am a citizen, and so are a majority of Somalis in America, Omar wrote Friday night on her social media account. Good luck celebrating a policy that really doesn't have much impact on the Somalis you love to hate. Let me clarify something, Ilmar. I don't hate any Somalis, but I'm tired of being victimized by criminal behavior.
Amen.
And she didn't mention that, did she, Joe?
No.
Interesting.
What else do we? Yeah, Omar Fateh weighed in. He's upset. Well, the whole Somali community's upset. Do you think Somalis, for the most part, have assimilated?
No.
Do you think, for the most part, Somalis intend to assimilate?
No.
That's a case-by-case basis, individual by individual.
Certainly some have.
Yeah, you can't really paint a broad brush with that kind of question. Some have, some have not.
Do you think Somalis wish to carry out the dictates of Allah, as stated in the Quran?
I do.
Because fortunately that hasn't happened.
I do to an extent. I don't think we are at...
Because unbelievers are supposed to not even be on earth. Non-believers are not supposed to be on earth.
I don't think we're fully embraced and ready for Sharia law yet.
I don't think they're that... The ones that I've come in contact with are not that militant. They're more live and let live, but they do follow the Quran.
Anyway, Trump can't unilaterally pull that status protection. He can set the wheels in motion. And I would find it perfectly helpful and agreeable if we knew for a fact that he wanted to yank the TPS holders out of the country if they were the fraudsters. We don't know who the hell the fraud... We know. We've got 77 of them listed. I don't know how many of the 77, for example, that have been indicted are here on temporary protected status.
Now, will the Somali community pick up the political football, run with it, and say, we are all victims here?
No, you're on the right track. The Somalis will not respond. They will respond as the professional victims they are. They have adopted that victim mentality almost instantaneously.
Even though all of the Somalis are not targeted with this decree or whatever it is.
So, and they're going to be led, the ringleader in playing the race card is Omar. And she's just going to have a field day. I mean, she would love nothing more than an ongoing battle with Trump. She despises Trump. I'm sure he doesn't think fondly of her. So, but the Somalis, the narrative that will be expressed in the Twin Cities, again, most particularly by the conventional media. The next story you see from the Tribune will be about some neighborhood of prematurely gray-haired 42-year-old white women on Lake of the Isles holding a bake sale for the Somalis. Yes. That's what you'll get
for the TPSers.
You'll get a lot of feel-good stuff that has nothing to do with the real problem.
Did you happen to see Dina Winter's piece in the Star Tribune?
Refresh my memory.
Headline, how Minneapolis Somali community became an important source of support for Mayor Jacob Fry.
Mm-hmm. And he's going out of his way to learn how to speak it and learn how to dance. And
Why are we so unwilling to admit that there's a problem? And not we as in us.
We ain't.
But that's the question I kept asking myself over the weekend.
Because when you look at the voting numbers who turn out in Minneapolis, they're never overwhelming. So if you can get the support of 70% of the 78,000 Somalis who live there, you're probably going to get elected.
Chris, though, you're right. I'd like to hear what Ilhan has to say and Fateh, but neither one of them will address what's going on. Instead, they address Trump.
Right.
I am unaware of Ilhan Omar, and this would be in her purview. I am unaware of her ever commenting about the fraud.
She should be commenting every day on it.
She should be. Back to the question: why would Frey votes?
Well, and once you secure the DFL endorsement, you're in.
But depending who you want, depending if you're a DSA leaner or a DFL leaner, the Somali votes can put you over the top. What if, I got an email suggesting this, what if the kickbacks weren't money paid to various state agency personnel? What if the kickbacks were the higher-ups saying, keep sending out the money, and then the higher-ups have gone to various people, various players and agents in the Somali community, and they're saying to them, look, we're going to keep the money coming, but we expect your vote. Maybe that was the kickback instead of cash.
But how many were in a position to be reelected?
I'm talking about just normal white DFLers getting reelected, not just Somalis.
You're saying look the other way, and
The Walsies and the Flanagans and the Keith Ellisons of the world, maybe their payback was for looking the other way and letting this money go. Maybe their payback was votes. You got 78,000 Somalis in Minneapolis,
yeah.
and nobody votes, relatively speaking. Did we get a 50% turnout this year?
That's a good question. I'll look that up, Joe.
It'd be interesting to know. Well, we don't break down voters by their ethnicity, do we? That would be do we? I wonder.
I don't think so. How would you?
Yeah, I don't think so. How could you? But it'd be interesting to note of the Somali population how many voted. Maybe they take it far more seriously than the long-term residents of Minneapolis.
Across all 13 wards, a record-setting number of Minneapolis voters made their voices heard in the 2025 municipal election. According to unofficial results, 147,702 voters, 55% of registered voters cast their ballot in the 2025
okay,
election.
and I guess that's considered great.
All results are
I think it's
considered
pathetic, but it's considered good.
The unofficial numbers break the previous record of 54% turnout in the 2021 election, when 145,000 voters participated.
All right, thank you. The wind is going to kick up. The snow is on the way. This great weather we've been blessed with can't last. I hope you've gotten your garage door taken care of with Precision Garage Door. If you need a new door, they have models of doors for every budget. GLers right now get $100 off a single door and $200 off a double door. They send out a designer. They have models that would accommodate every budget. You sit down with the designer. That's all free of charge. If you love your current door, but you don't like the way it's behaving, get it taken care of before the ice and snow box you in. Right now, they have a noisy door tune-up special for $149. That gets you a 25-point safety inspection and diagnostic. So it's normally a $290 value. You get it for $149. So book online at Precision Door MN, one word, precisiondoormn.com, or call Precision Door at 612-263-6985 to schedule your free on-site new door estimate or to book a noisy door tune-up special with Precision Door, Minnesota.
Reavers here once again for my guy, Mr. Money Talk, Josh Arnold. Does thinking about retirement make you uncomfortable? Well, sometimes the anxiety from wondering if you've saved enough can be overwhelming. But what if I told you that you could ease those tensions in just 48 minutes? Well, Mr. Money Talk is going to be able to sit down with you and get you on the right track for your financial future. Josh has navigated it all when it comes to uncertain market and economic conditions, and he'll always provide straight talk, never sugar-coated advice on how to reach the finish line with your retirement goals. Don't let your financial worries give you an ulcer or keep you from I'm calling Josh right now. His 48-minute, no-obligation consultation could be just what you need to feel better about your future. Call Josh today at 952-925-5608 and set up your free 48-minute, no-obligation consultation. That's 952-925-5608.
Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC, a security investment advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice.
Chris Reavers is a paid endorser.
Fast breaks, buzzer beaters, block parties, they're all back, and Underdog is the best place to get in on all the action. Whether you're into basketball, football, hockey, or any sport in between, Underdog is the best place to play, and playing on Underdog is easy. Just pick whether your favorite player will go higher or lower on stats like points, rebounds, and many more. Get your picks right, you could win up to 5,000 times your money. Austin Reeves, I've been picking him a lot this year. He's been good at everything. Points, assists, you name it. So I'll be looking at Austin Reeves to go higher in points and assists. Download the app today and use promo code GARAGE to score $100 in bonus entries when you play your first $5. That's promo code GARAGE. Underdog. Make picks, win money.
Must be 18 plus, 19 plus in Alabama and Nebraska, 19 plus in Colorado for some games, 21 plus in Arizona, Massachusetts, and Virginia, and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS_.html for details. Offer not valid in Maryland, Michigan, New Jersey, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org. In New York, call the 24/7 Hope line at 1-8778-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369.
Jesus.
All right, let's go with this show here. Monday.
The Earth is not your mother. The Joe Souchere Show.
Tim from Wilmer writes, Hi, Kenny. This past week, I thought I'd fire up my 40-year-old homemade wood splitter that is now on its third engine.
Wow.
This time with a 16-horse Chinese Honda clone, 4-stroke single-cylinder. While the engine fired up after sitting and being unattended for at least 10 months, it ran, but the choke had to be on halfway all of the time. Boy, I've experienced that. I didn't really want to spend the time and hassle to pull the carb and clean the float and the seats and the needles and etc. I had a partial can of Seafoam on the shelf, so I dumped in a healthy dose and let the engine eat that for a while, still having to keep the choke on halfway. I ran out of time, shut her down. About 2 days later, I went out to fire the engine, split some wood, and after initially choking it and giving it 2 pulls on the rope, it fired up and ran perfect without having to have the choke on. The Seafoam had done its thing. Needless to say, I was very happy and was able to get a bunch of wood split. I always keep a can of Seafoam on the shelf in my shop and will continue to do so. That's Tim from Wilmer. And that's how easy it is. Dump in a heavy pour, run it, let it sit, run it again, repeat if need be. Much easier than pulling the carb and then tearing that down and doing all of that. Dump it in, let Seafoam eat your woes away. You can find it anywhere that you find fine automotive chemicals and even some places where you don't. And check out Seafoam on the web, seafoamworks.com. A wonderful product in the world of bad gas, Seafoam.
Kenny, it's funny that you just talked about Seafoam and working parts of the lawnmower. I saw a riding lawnmower on Facebook Marketplace, completely decked out with Viking colors, and the only thing that works on it is the choke.
I get it. Say, I'd like to return.
Wait.
Hilarious.
John thinks that's funny because the Packers
That
won.
wasn't a choke yesterday. That was just a thumping.
Horrible.
Yeah.
They didn't choke about anything. They never got off the ground. I'd like to get some things off my chest before I return to the dystopian mess that this state has become. Our man Stephen C., the official Garage Logic piano player, get this, this Friday.
Black Friday.
Cathedral of St. Paul, 3 p.m. Big concert. And he's joined by local legend and fingerstyle guitar whiz Billy McLaughlin. Patrick Donahue is not available, but Donahue will be back for Christmas. But this Friday, Stephen C. has Billy McLaughlin, and he's going to have that beautiful piano in there. And I guess you just go to Eventbrite, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And you can find the. In fact, I think it's free. Let me look.
I think it's a free show from what he sent us. Yep.
Yeah, it's free.
Yeah.
3 p.m. this coming Friday.
At the cathedral, you said?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
StephenCThankful.eventbrite.com.
Very cool.
All right. I love H.L. Mencken. I always have. He was a famed columnist for the Baltimore Sun back in the day, and he was just a sardonic guy.
Okay.
And here's one of his, Jordy sent me this. Here's one of his great quotes. On one issue, at least, men and women agree. They both distrust women. What a great line. You double HL. I had something else, yes. Let's thank the GLers for their great support for Give to the Max, for the Mike Schoonover Play for Patrick Foundation. We raised $16,142 for that Schoonover Heart Foundation. Isn't that nice?
GLers, that is a lot of money.
You blew it out of the water. Seriously, that was incredible to watch.
Isn't that great?
Yes.
Yeah, that was.
Is there anything else before we have to return? Yeah, I got one. Joe, in 20, this is from Eddie Fluger. In 2024, we went to San Francisco to see the last official tour stop of Dead and Company. As 60,000 deadheads filed out of Oracle Park, the autonomous vehicles were shuffling back and forth, readily identifiable by the bucket-sized transponder on the roof of the car. We were joking about what would happen if you took a KFC chicken bucket and set it over the transponder. And a couple of younger deadheads smiled and said, "Watch this." While the car, driverless and passengerless, was stopped at a red light, the guy walked out with a traffic cone he picked up on the sidewalk and set it on the hood of the car. This evidently sends the autonomous vehicles into meltdown. If you short minutes, the car...
What?
The car sat there for minutes not knowing what to do. The hazard lights came on and it parked itself right in the middle of the traffic lane. Another guy went and took the cone off the hood of the car as it was starting to back up traffic quite severely and causing a ruckus. Once the cone was removed, the car carried on it did for a moment, creating a bit of entertainment and a huge cheer from the crowd when it finally went on its way. How many of those yellow bicycles did they find underneath the bridge in St. Paul? Do you think the metro area has strong enough social contract to make an autonomous rideshare business viable? I highly doubt it.
I have a question.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
You can't travel 500 yards in this town without tripping over one of these rental scooters.
The limes?
How are you going to treat these driverless cars?
I have a question.
I think I do too.
That was such a great email. I remember hearing it last week.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Not by me.
I thought I was losing.
I had a story about
maybe John.
No, I had cars coming here that were going to try and be tracked.
The Jaguars.
And you followed it with that. You followed it with that story.
Let me look here.
Maybe
the date line on this is Friday, November 21.
Which was last week.
Have we been getting into the Thanksgiving gravy a little earlier?
No, we need to adjust his medication. He'll be okay.
Yeah.
No, they're going to be okay.
Read this before. Do you remember me reading it?
Go down to half a dose.
Thank you. Gabe doesn't remember I read this.
He's a kid. What the hell does he know? He's been lying to me for years.
Gabe will say anything to stay employed at this point.
Obviously, we won't.
Matthew, I have to point something out. I'm a little disappointed in you.
What's that?
Well, I mean, here we are. It's festive. It's checked out week.
You got a big week.
And here you are, and you just let the word sardonic just pass.
I didn't have anything for that. I tried to.
That word.
I tried to find something.
I am tempted to replay the Friday show because I will bet you I did not read that email. Otherwise, I wouldn't have kept it because I said to myself, I'm going to keep this. I might get to it.
Why would we all know the story then, Joe?
We all looked up and looked at each other.
John, remember
hearing it from
what
you.
kind of cars they were using, and you said Jaguars.
Yes, that was part of my story.
I remember that too.
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
Because I wasn't listening to his original
Can you find
story,
that segment?
Yeah, I was wondering if I could keep the time in the temp.
Sure.
Well, is it difficult?
Well,
Yeah, it just pulls right up.
Let's kind of listen to the whole thing.
I mean, it's very
sardonic.
It's very sardonic.
Never mind.
You're asking him to not listen to the show twice.
Yeah, hang on. Wow.
He didn't listen then. He's
God dang it,
sure
Kenny,
as hell isn't going to listen today.
That was a home run line.
I didn't know we had, back to the dystopia.
Hey.
I didn't know we had snap fraud.
Well, where have you been?
What do you mean?
The agency, this is dated today. Okay, is that okay with you? This is dated today.
We actually talked about that. We talked about local and national SNAP fraud well over a week ago. Remember, I had the national numbers, and you were giving me...
I do.
Okay.
I do.
Hey, if you don't like America, then you can get it.
Well,
do you have anything new for today?
I have people chiming in that said they did not hear that story.
I agree.
Listened to the entire show this morning. You were our witness to me listening to the show.
Yes, yeah.
It was not.
Thank you.
Maybe it was a
Thank
town
you.
council deal.
No, I did not read that email until today.
God help you, son. Why are you
Cone
re-listening to the
on the thing. I remember distinctly a traffic cone on the car.
Me too.
Maybe it was Thursday, but Friday we didn't do news because we had the guests.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so it was Thursday.
That's why.
Yeah. What was the date Friday?
21st.
That's when I got the email.
Maybe you got an earlier one, too.
No. You're right. We didn't do the news on the 21st.
That's correct.
Fun.
We had this email arrived at 11:05 a.m. November 21st.
He says trying to justify
I did
it.
not do this on Friday.
Well, why did three people think you did?
Well, because maybe you saw the same email.
No, you said it.
Yeah, because I remember
What do you mean
saying...
I sent it? It was sent to me.
You said it.
Said.
But did you get this email?
No, I did not.
Boy, I'm going to make an issue out of this.
Are you protesting?
I'm filing an appeal.
Okay.
With the commissioner's
With
office?
the commissioner of
flag.
podcast.
Challenge flag?
Yeah, I threw a challenge flag. I
throwing
did
the
not
challenge
say this until today. How could I have when it's dated Friday, November 21st?
All right, in your defense, then maybe John just did the story and we asked the
Maybe
question.
you imagined this.
Well, I remember asking about the story about the
Mass
car.
hysteria, like UFOs in the 60s? Same kind of thing?
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of it.
Area 21 or 48.
Why don't you guys continue with dystopia? I'll listen to Friday's show and see if I can find, or Thursday's show and see if I can find it.
No, that's okay. The hell with it.
What did you say? Imagine?
No possession.
I have something I want to
Imagine a future.
Don't play that crackpot. God almighty.
All right.
Let me make a note to myself because you're all just letting me down and
You're
giving
gonna
me grief. And,
Friday, and he's going to
You're all
underline it.
nuts.
no, I have some information. No, I have an email that led me to just do a bit of homework. From Jerry Stillwell. You're seeing the fraud as a problem. It will be. No, the subject of his email is family paid leave. Why it's worse than you think. And then the message. You're seeing fraud as a problem. It will be. The biggest issue, though, is staffing. I have roughly 70 employees. They are all needed. If I had more, I don't make money. With the paid family leave, somebody can take almost a half a year off. I have to replace them. I don't know how long they'll be gone. How many people apply for jobs when told that we might need you for a few months or a week? It is expensive to train new people. Also, whoever takes time off up to 20 weeks has to be allowed to come back to their job. So now I have 2 people for that one job. If the replacement person takes leave, I have to replace them too and give them their job back when they are done with their leave. See where this is the real problem? Endless cycle. And if that first person doesn't take leave and I let them go, they are entitled to unemployment, which I will have to pay for. It's so fun. Good luck. This Family Leave Act is a horrible mistake. It really is.
Yep.
So I ask you to look up who are the authors, because this came and went a couple of years ago. This just got passed into law. Well, in the House, it was Representative Ruth Richardson, who is no longer in the House. She abruptly resigned, and I believe she's a regional bigwig with Planned Parenthood.
Okay.
She represented Mendota Heights area out that way as a representative. These are DFL people, of course, that came up with this. But she was the House author of the bill, and that was back in, 2022, 2023. In the Senate, and I believe she still serves in the Senate, is Alice Mann, a DFLer. She's a doctor, a medical doctor, and she did this. She came up with this, and where does she? Edina area she represents. And so she and this Richardson thought this was a good idea. I can't imagine. I mean, she's a doctor. She had to have some knowledge of the real world, but she didn't, and we ended up with this bill, and it's going to be just ruinous to businesses.
It's a nightmare.
You will have firsthand experience with it.
Yes.
In fact,
I've already been trained.
Are you the person in charge of handling it for your airport firm?
I'm one of two.
One of two. You going to draw a little picture of Lincoln's top hat for him?
Good thing Kevin, my buddy, is pretty good at what he does.
This is really going to really hurt guys and gals who have businesses. It's just going to kill them.
Not only financially, but it's also going to take manpower to keep track. You have to manually keep track. If Gabe goes out for 4 weeks, that means he still has 16 weeks left, and you can only use 12 weeks to care for a loved one. So if you care for a loved one for 12 weeks, you still have the other 8 weeks, but it can't be to care for. It's a mess.
As I read about both these women, Ruth Richardson, about whom I knew very little, she strikes me as a bleeding heart Mysterian. She was a state representative beginning in 2018, and she, during her time as a state rep, she authored bills requiring employers to provide paid family leave, banned warrior training for police officers, and declared racism a public health crisis. This Alice Mann is DFL from the get-go. I don't know that either of them are DSA, but she represents District 50 in the Minnesota Senate since 2023, as I say, a medical doctor, and she just must have thought this is a great idea. But these are not two women who apparently had much experience, if any, in running a business, paying people, hiring people, firing people, juggling schedules. They just dismissed that, and I would imagine. Workers were seen to be oppressed and victimized by evil white corporate society. And I'm sorry, that's the only thing I conclude based on reading about the likes of this Ruth Richardson. So it's a shame. And that bill could be overdone. There's nothing to stop a new governor from making a campaign. If Republicans win enough seats, there's nothing to stop this from being overturned. Because this is dreadful. This is just ruinous to people who already have had billions of dollars stolen from them by fraud, who already have extraordinarily high taxes, who already are overruled and regulated. And now you add this to it, because Walz has thoroughly destroyed the state. And there's a picture of Walz happily signing this bill back when he signed it. He just thought this was great.
It's tremendous inspiration to not grow your business, or even, for that matter, shrink your business. Traditional. Well, I don't have to explain how business works, but take on more orders, take on more employees, et cetera, et cetera. Small businessmen won't be doing this now.
No, because that just adds to the burden of their bookkeeping.
Yep.
And they'd have to bring on extra staff just to do that. Just like the creation of this office is going to require 400 people and brand new computers and desks and office chair and telephones and God knows what the state will have to pay for this.
And what will they say? Well, we're creating jobs.
Yeah, they're not. Let's.
Yeah, like that employer said, now he has 2 people to do the one job.
Wednesday, the Center of the American Experiment will be here to announce the winner of the American Experiment 2025 Golden Turkey Awards. It'll be one of 4 nominees that you can still vote on.
I'm going to miss the trophy.
At AmericanExperiment.org. Nominee number 1, Governor Tim Walz, who had the audacity to spend $430,000 of your money just so he could get coached for a congressional hearing last summer. I might need to take a deep breath. Nominee number 2, Gold Line Bus Project. That was $500 million. Nominee number 3, $1 million bathrooms out in Bloomington. They blew $1 million in COVID relief funds. And nominee number 4, river surfing on the Rum River. $6.2 million diverted from where it's needed to pretend that it's a surfing area. The voting is open at AmericanExperiment.org. It's a beautiful golden turkey trophy. Visit AmericanExperiment.org to cast your vote.
Football season is going hot and heavy, and Underdog is the best place to get into the game and get in on all the action. Best part of Underdog? How easy it is to play. Just pick whether your favorite players will go higher or lower on stats like rushing yards, receptions, touchdowns, and lots more. Get your picks right, and you could win up to 5,000 times your cash. This week on Underdog, I'm looking at Josh Jacobs, picking him to go higher for touchdowns, and it seems like Matthew Stafford is always a good pick to go higher on passing yards. Download the app today, sign up with the promo code GARAGE to score $100 in bonus entries when you play your first $5. That's promo code GARAGE. Underdog, make picks, win money.
Must be 18 plus, 19 plus in Alabama and Nebraska, 19 plus in Colorado for some games, 21 plus in Arizona, Massachusetts, and Virginia, and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS_.html for details. Offer not valid in Maryland, Michigan, New Jersey, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org. In New York, call the 24/7 Hope line at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369.
Get this over.
Is that guitar angry or dirty? Which one, Johnny?
Dirty.
Dirty, thank you. North American Banking
John
Company.
or Dylan?
That's Dill.
That's Dylan, yeah.
John can't play like that. Come on.
Well, you can.
Okay, whatever.
That's a shot.
Good luck to you this week, Mayor. North American Banking Company, investing in your success since 1998. And you know what? Back then, they made a promise to deliver a better banking experience for their customers where you know your banker and they know you. And you get that feeling anytime that you walk into any one of their 6 Twin Cities locations, whether it's 50th and France, Woodbury, Hastings, Shoreview, and Maple Grove. They offer all of the services as the other big national banks, and they get it. They understand that online and mobile banking are important for everyone these days, and you might think that a community bank would have versions of these that were last updated back in 2010, but no. North American Banking Company has the same online and mobile banking tools as the other big national banks, and they are so easy and also very convenient to use. And it doesn't matter whether you're looking to buy a home, maybe finance a new home renovation project, or get that new car that you've been dreaming about. Their experts will make that happen. So check them out online today. It's nabankco.com to learn more. Once again, it's banking done differently. North American Banking Company, member FDIC, is an equal housing lender. Joe?
Here's John Heidt.
Thank you, Joe. This news brought to you by North American Banking Company.
Leading today's news, did podcast host Joe Souchere discuss a chicken bucket in an autonomous car last week?
No, he did not. Not until today.
Opinions vary. All right, let's go to the real news now. Here comes winter. Winter storm watch is in effect from Tuesday morning through late Tuesday night north of a line from Morris in western Minnesota to near St. Cloud to Mora and into northern Wisconsin. Winds gusting as high as 35 to 40 miles an hour late Tuesday into Wednesday could lead to reduced visibility. The metro won't see as much precip as other areas. The Twin Cities does have an almost 50% chance of seeing 2 inches of snow or more, while the odds rise 60 to 80% in central and northern Minnesota. Parts of that, central and northern Minnesota and parts of North Dakota could see anywhere from 4 to 8 inches of snow before all of this is done.
I'm not even putting the plow on the truck. I'm going to drive it in. Yep.
Minnesota State Senator Jeff Howe, a Republican from Rockville, announced he will not seek re-election in 2026. Howe was first elected to the Minnesota House of Representatives in 2012 and served there for 3 terms. He was then elected to the Minnesota Senate in 2018. He has served on several committees in both the House and Senate. Many of his priorities focused on helping veterans, members of the military, and first responders. Prior to his work in the House and Senate, Howe worked as a firefighter, fire marshal, fire chief, emergency management coordinator, and avionics technician for the U.S. Navy.
All I would say to him is don't go back to Rockville and waste another day.
Thanks very much, Mr. Stipe. I appreciate
Isn't this an example, though, of the kind of guy we need to stay in office?
Yes, that's why I'm saying
Sounds
don't
like
go
an
back to
REM line,
Rockville.
doesn't it?
Right by Chris there, didn't it?
Yeah.
U.S. Homeland Security.
You know what? Bleep all of you. I'm in a
Hey,
good
he's
mood.
after you.
See, that's an REM song, Chris.
That's
Joe
him
was
in the
quoting.
corner.
Don't
over
go
there.
back to Rockville and waste another day.
Don't patronize me. That's when you talk down to someone because he's so stupid to understand.
What's he
I
saying?
thought that's condescension.
Oh, yeah, that's what I meant.
U.S. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem, during her previously scheduled visit to the Twin Cities yesterday, said she will evaluate the temporary protected status designation for Somalia. Secretary Noem was responding to questions about whether she planned to end it and on what basis after a social media post by President Trump on Friday night in which he said he was terminating TPS for Somalis in Minnesota effective immediately. However, contrary to the online announcement, the president lacks the authority to terminate TPS programs. On Saturday, that decision, it was announced, is the sole authority of the U.S. Secretary of Homeland Security. That would be Noem. If TPS status is ended, it would affect a small number of Somalis. As of right now, there are about 700 people in the U.S. with protected status from Somalia. About 500 of those reside in Minnesota.
You know, every time I see her on TV, she's been here twice locally.
I'll say.
She must have been so tightened up. They must have had 2 plastic surgeons tightening her up. She almost talks as though she's had Novocaine. She can't get her lips going because they've been so everything kind of tightened up and really stretched out her. And she looks great.
Are you talking down to my girl?
I am. But she can barely talk because the lips can't get free. They got.
Guess what? Not a problem.
All right.
You could use some tightening yourself there, GB.
Wow.
Okay.
Jurors have convicted a Minnesota man of collecting $146,000 in federal benefits by falsely claiming to be a decorated Marine Corps veteran who was wounded in action, captured, and tortured in Iraq.
Wow. No.
Stolen valor.
No, don't be doing. No.
39-year-old Michael Wicker of Dilworth found guilty in U.S. District Court in St. Paul of wire fraud, mail fraud using a false military discharge certificate, and fraudulent use of military medals in a scheme that he ran from 2015 through 2020. He now awaits sentencing. On Thursday of last week, Wicker testified and stuck to his claims of being a decorated Marine who served in Iraq and was wounded. But Marine veterans from Lima Company also testified and said Wicker never served with them. The unit Wicker claimed to have been part of suffered some of the highest casualties of the Iraq War. The indictment filed in 2024 read, federal agents testified that searches across Marine Corps and Department of Defense databases confirmed there was no record of Wicker ever serving in the military. Rather, employment, pay, and state court records replaced him in Michigan during the years he claimed to be deployed in Iraq. At the time he was charged, he was a behavioral intervention specialist with the Moorhead Area Public Schools. The district fired him April 30th, 2024, 4 weeks after he was indicted. His scheme started to unravel in January of 2020 when he applied for an increase in disability benefits. The application included a letter from Wicker in which he talked about various aspects of his supposed service, his claimed deployment, and his injuries.
Boy, you know what? If this guy keeps lying about his military service, he's going to end up being governor of the state.
Whoa!
Not bad.
Not bad.
Not bad.
Thank you.
Not bad.
Thank
You
you.
shouldn't even give. You didn't even give yourself the boom, boom, boom.
And one of the most prominent musicians in the Minneapolis music scene has died, Jelly Bean Johnson, passing away at the age of 69. He was born in Chicago in 1956, moved to North Minneapolis in 1968. He's considered one of the artists who popularized the Minneapolis sound hybrid music genre that emerged in the late 1970s. He was an original member of the band Flight Time, which eventually transformed into The Time, that released its first album in 1981. He was The Time's drummer. Johnson also appeared in the 1984 film Purple Rain and collaborated with Prince on multiple other projects. Besides being a drummer, he was also a fine guitarist, songwriter, and producer. He also created the nonprofit Minneapolis Sound Museum.
Who was the front man of the time?
Morris Day.
Oh, Morris Day, yeah.
The roommate and I had a lengthy discussion about Jelly Bean. We decided we did hang out with him at the Caboose one night. We can't remember why he was there. He was watching a band on stage, maybe Wayne McFarland. I don't remember.
He was well known, from what I've read, for just 3-4 nights a week going out to see local bands. Just
Cool.
to
Yeah.
interact with
Yeah, I remember the hat. I didn't remember him until I saw a picture of him, and then it's, oh, yeah, of course, I remember him.
Yep. Why don't we take a quick break here and hear from our friend, the Rookster.
Thank you, Johnny Heidt. 28 degrees for a high on Thanksgiving. If you are entertaining folks and you don't have a working heating unit, I hope it's not too late. They do have 24-hour service at Welter, but you should already have done that. Do your due diligence by making sure your guests are not too hot, not too cold, so they're just the right temperature. And the techs at welterheating.com can make sure that heating unit is up to par and put to bed that air conditioning unit that's outside and collecting ice, snow, bad weather. Do the right thing. It's cheap insurance to make sure you maintain the air purification system, the cooling system, and the heating unit that you have. And Welter has been doing that for 4 generations, 120 years serving the metro area. If you'd like to call them and you have a question, the phone is answered during business hours by a human at 612-825-6867. All the information you could want, though, is at welterheating.com. Request an appointment, quote, all that stuff. The blog can be very helpful to answer any questions that you may have without having a tech come out. Welter's a great family. They are garage logicians, and they patronize this wonderful podcast, so please use them or at least get an estimate. 612-825-6867. This winter, warm up your shelter with the fine folks from Rick and Ray and Welter.
Have been.
It's time to talk about Hofferman Water and Connecticut. That's what time it is. And you know what? They are here to help you make an amazing difference in the quality of your water. And I am chief among them. I made the switch. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 7 years ago now already? Holy cow, it's been that long. And you know what? You're going to be so happy if you decide to make the switch to Hofferman Water and Connecticut. I started out as a customer, and it's been an amazing relationship, and it's made such a great difference in the quality of my water inside of my home. It's more than just quality water. It's going to protect your appliances. Bad water can affect almost every single aspect of your home. So get in touch with my friends at Hofferman Water and Connecticut. Get on that schedule to have them come out for that free water analysis. You do that one of 2 ways. Dial them up at 612-895-2440 or
Book your appointment online at HoffermanWater.com, and as long as you're on that website, you can see every single different water treatment system that they have to offer, HoffermanWater.com. But like I said, you got to get on that schedule. They're going to come out for that free water analysis. They'll give you this thing that's called a water score, and then based upon that water score, they're going to give you recommendations on how they can upgrade the quality of your water. They have done that for me. They will do that with you. 612-895-2440 or visit HoffermanWater.com. Hofferman Water has been proudly serving the state of Minnesota for over 50 years. Do me a favor and mention that you heard about them here on the Garage Logic podcast. Johnny?
Thanks, Chris. In national and international stories, Vladimir Putin could return to the world stage under a new European peace plan that agrees to allow Russia back into the G8. The offer made as a counter-proposal to President Trump's 28-point plan, which heavily favored Russia. This plan, the new one, appears iffy. The old plan, the Trump administration plan, also appears iffy, so whether any of this will actually happen, who knows? The new plan would include a cap on the size of Ukraine's army and a commitment to elections that would see Vladimir Zelensky removed from power, a key demand by Moscow. Now, the president would still have to sign off on this deal, as would Russia. The European deal removes Russia's demand that Ukraine give up the eastern Donbas region. The 28-point plan drawn up by the Americans administration demanded that Ukraine give up large tracts of land, including territory that's not been conquered by Russian forces. The European counterproposal says negotiations on territorial swaps would start from the line of contact, or what amounts to the front line of the war. It proposes that Ukraine should receive a security guarantee from Washington, similar to NATO's Article 5 clause.
So the deal is quit the war, but you got to give up your country. Was that the first one?
And remove Zelensky. He's the only one that stood up to me.
A federal judge tossed out separate criminal charges this morning against the former FBI Director James B. Comey and the New York Attorney General Letitia James, saying their prosecutor's appointment was invalid, a major defeat for President Trump's effort to make the Criminal Justice Service do some of his bidding. The twin rulings by Judge Cameron Curry center on the unusual nature in which Lindsay Halligan was picked by the president and Attorney General Pam Bondi to become a U.S. attorney and proceed on her own in a matter of days to indict two of the president's targets. Judge Cameron Curry ruled to dismiss the Comey case, writing, "I agree with Comey that the Attorney General's attempt to install Ms. Halligan as interim U.S. attorney for the Eastern District of Virginia was invalid. The particulars of the judge's ruling means the government could attempt to refile the charges, whatever the outcome of the legal fight surrounding the appointment of Halligan. The Trump administration is likely to appeal the judge's ruling." It's now official. U.S. President Trump's Department of Government Efficiency has disbanded, even though there are 8 months left in its mandate. Ending the initiative launched with fanfare as a symbol of the president's pledge to slash the government's size. Office of Personnel Management Director Scott Cooper told Reuters last week that doesn't exist anymore when asked about DOGE's status. While it was supposed to save money, it appears DOGE actually may have cost the government some money. Some departments like USAID and the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau were gutted, but in some cases, DOGE's actions actually incurred additional costs to the government. Legal fees from lawsuits challenging the cuts and the cost of rehiring specialized workers who were initially laid off. Members of the General Services Administration, IRS employees, Labor Department employees, National Park employees, National Weather Service employees, and nuclear power workers, among others, were sent back to work. Ultimately, external analysis found that the net financial savings were negligible or negative.
I'm watching a series now called Death by Lightning.
Ooh.
It's the story. It's only 4 parts. It's the story of how James Garfield became president. And it's interesting. Garfield strikes me as he was a pretty cool guy. He only lasted about 6-7 months in office, and he was shot. Mm-hmm. And he died from an infection that resulted from just poor treatment of the gun wound. But the story is mostly about him and this assassin, Charles Guiteau, who was a weirdo, crackpot. But the point I was ultimately going to get to is it was no different in the late 1880s than it is today. The backstabbing, the mischief, the gamesmanship, Chester Arthur became his vice presidential nominee, and then of course Chester Arthur became president. He was a drunk bagman for the New York mob. He was just a horrible human being. Maybe he had a conversion as president. I don't know, but
was this at a time when you voted for president and vice president, or were they both on the same ticket?
They're on the same ticket.
Okay.
Explain the title.
One of Garfield's quotes. He was his wife said, "You really need to improve security, Jim. There's a lot of weird people out there." And he says, "The likelihood of assassination is the same as death by lightning."
Whoops.
Oh,
yeah. Sealing his fate.
Yeah, that's all I had on that.
President Trump said over the weekend he'd like to see Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene resume her political career at some point, despite the recent falling out. These comments came one day after Greene announced she will resign in January. In a brief phone interview with NBC News, the president said it's not going to be easy for her to revive her career in politics, although he added, "I'd love to see that." Long an ally of the president, Greene became more vocal in recent weeks about her differences with some of his policies and priorities. She faulted the president for devoting what she sees as excessive attention to foreign leaders, as opposed to the pocketbook concerns of everyday Americans. She was also an early advocate for the release of the Epstein files. Trump lashed out at Greene, calling her a traitor, and withdrew his support for a re-election. Early Saturday morning before his interview with NBC, the president posted on his social media site that Greene chose to quit rather than face a Republican primary challenger in the midterm elections next year. He reiterated she was a traitor while also thanking her for her service to the country.
You know, as recently as the 1880s, and it probably went on longer than that, certainly we don't see it now, presidents had a daily calling session where if you just came through the front door and you could talk to the president.
That's crazy.
The only president, I'm being serious now, the only president I can imagine reprising that would be Trump. He would do that.
So do you remember going through the White House and sitting in that hallway? That's where they would line up.
Yeah.
Where you got to go. You're next, Phil. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Like meeting with the Godfather on the day of his daughter's wedding.
Yeah.
Yes. Kind of.
A comic book found in an attic has become the most expensive comic of all time. A copy of Superman #1, the 1939 issue that introduced the Man of Steel, sold last week for $9.12 million.
Hasn't Superman #1 been found about 10 times?
Not in this not in this shape, pristine condition.
What year, Johnny? I'm sorry. What year did it debut?
39 it was published in.
Wow.
The price handily...
Okay, I know you're a nerd and you love your comic books. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That is pretty cool.
The price handily beats the previous record set only in 2024 when Action Comics #1, the comic that first introduced Superman to the world, sold for $6 million. Before that, a copy of Superman #1 sold for $5.3 million, and a copy of 1962's Amazing Fantasy #15, which introduced Spider-Man, sold for $3.6 million in 2021.
I'll never understand that.
So what greedy heir was going through Aunt Ethel's attic and found this?
Funny you should mention that, Rook. There is a backstory here. By the way, the comic was graded a 9 out of 10, which never happens with anything old.
It's in pristine condition.
Yes.
This one was in an attic, Rook. As you said, the comic was discovered by 3 brothers in the attic of their late mother's house, along with a box of yellowed newspaper clippings. Their mom had bought the comic along with several others when she was 9 years old and living in Depression-era San Francisco. Over the years, the mother occasionally insisted to her sons that she had rare comics somewhere, but she could never remember where they were. The boys assumed it was just Mom talking, Mom died just before the pandemic. The house sat untouched until the brothers were ready to go through it earlier this year, and that's when they found the comic.
She was a big fan of Superman, huh?
I can see cars and art being worth that much money. I just don't see a comic book.
Some comic books are art, Joe.
Oh, okay, John.
I have a 1965 Minnesota Twins World Series program.
It's worth 50 cents.
If that.
Yeah.
But boy, for about 10 minutes, I thought I was the world's next millionaire.
Rook, what else do you think they found up in Grandma's attic?
Rock
One of
Hudson.
those-
Rock Hudson today. Or
One of those shoulder massagers.
yes.
Shoulder.
Very is antique model. Antique model.
Plug
Boy,
in.
Mom sure loves that Superman, doesn't she?
John, thank you very
Mom, what are
much.
you doing up in the attic up there?
John, thank you very
Look at
much.
that
Took a different
Shut up.
tune than took a different direction
really
than I
did.
expected.
What do you got for us, Joe? You got.
I got something for
Joe,
you.
here for brothers. Do you think one of the brothers that first found it immediately was, I'm just going to tuck this under my arm and just slowly get out of here and go to Nova Scotia? Yep.
Who's making that noise? That
Not me.
What was that?
I don't know.
I was speaking.
It's that shoulder massage.
What is this noise? I just. Could you
Kinda
settle?
nerdy. What do you got for us?
I got you, Bradshaw and Bryant.
I need a lawyer.
You will need
I'm
one.
having
The
a lot of
rate you're
trouble with
going,
my
you're going to
labor.
need one.
Yeah.
Personal injury attorneys. If you're like Rookie, you won't understand a damn thing if you ever get in an accident. Insurance companies and adjusters can be tough to deal with, so having someone on your side is important. And Mike Bryant from Bradshaw and Bryant puts together a great team. They'll explain your rights, represent you, help you through a tough time. Mike is recognized as a super lawyer in this state, among Minnesota's top 40 personal injury lawyers, ranked by Minnesota Law and Politics. Bradshaw and Bryant hopes you're never in an accident, but if you are, call Bradshaw and Bryant at 800-770-7008 or go to minnesotapersonalinjury.com for a free case evaluation. And please don't be a part of the problem. Don't text or drive distracted. That's just common sense from Bradshaw and Bryant.
The earth is not your mother. The Joe Souchere Show.
We are nuts. And we are nuts, mn.com. You're going to be gathering with family and friends. You know what's a great gift to bring along? Tack with a bottle of wine. Bring cashews.
Bring a bunch of nuts
to share with the family. And you can find that at wearenutsmn.com. You already know they're available at all of your Fratelloni's Hardware and Garden Stores locations, Lunds and Byerly's, Max Hardware, but also now Cub Foods locations carry We Are Nuts, and also Quick Trip. That's right. Expanding the brand is what we call it, but go to wearenutsmn.com if you're not able to make it to any one of those locations, and you can order it online. It's fantastic. It doesn't matter if you're Joe Souchere and you want the big, gigantic cashews, the maple bourbon toffee almonds are spectacular. You can also get the, I don't know, whether you're looking for the famous four, the Hokey Pokey popcorn, it doesn't matter. It's all there for you. It's a wonderful family-owned operation, handcrafted snacks made right here in the great state of Minnesota. Like I said, go to wearenutsmn.com. Please do me a favor when you place that order, mention that you heard about them here on the Garage Logic podcast.
I have a question for GLers should they choose to weigh in. Via email, I guess. I've resumed feeding the birds.
Really?
And when I first displayed the new batch of food, it was a big hit. Blue Jays, Cardinals, the whole deal. Now what I'm noticing is, and this is what I'm wondering, the birds, like this morning, the birds were all there. They fly up to the feeder, put themselves in neutral, and kind of tread air.
Yeah.
They don't go anywhere.
Yeah.
But they won't land on the perch. They turn around and go back and look on the ground, and they think for a while, and then they'll do it again. They'll approach the feeder and just flutter
Hover.
in neutral and do not land and don't take any food. What the hell is it? Bad food, I wonder?
You have the pizza ranch of bird feeders.
Yeah.
That perfectly describes me in the parking lot of Pizza Ranch a couple of weeks ago. I pulled in. Sat in my truck. I looked at people coming in and going out and did nope. Went somewhere else.
I'm not going to be able to
cut
this one out.
I'll never survive if I go in there.
No, they're exhibiting some behavior that's causing them to ignore taking the food.
Serious, Clark?
Well, if 10 birds are fluttering,
one of them will go and perch and take some food, but the other 9, they go back to the bushes and look around.
Do they view the feeder as some type of threat?
I don't know. I'm going to go out there today and check it out.
Big day ahead of you?
Yeah.
Yeah, fun.
I'll bring a pencil or something to poke the food in the opening. Maybe it's congealed. Maybe that's the
Or
problem.
just extend your finger like this, like a little perch, and say, come, birdie.
Yeah.
And then have some niblets.
Be neat to fly like that, though. They could just slap her into neutral right off the bat and hover.
Yeah, but
You know,
suck to be a
flap.
bird, though.
Why? It'd be neat.
What's your life? Looking for food.
Would be, you know what would be
That's
worse?
your life anyway. What the hell are you talking
Yeah.
about?
I just can't fly. You're right.
You know what would be worse? A worm. They only come out when it rains. They look around.
And you're looking for oxygen. You know, that's why they come up. They can't breathe. I don't know if you knew that. If somebody pulls you apart, you got 2 of you.
I did see the one goose the other day. He's flying on. Oh, crap. I missed the alarm.
Only because they come to us all the way. We've changed now. A new location, port of call in Port Louis, Mauritius. Is that how you say it?
Yes.
Look that up, Reavers. Mauritius. I've always wanted to know how to...
Mauritius.
M-A-U-R...
M-A-U-R-I-T.
I-T-I-U-S.
I-U-S.
It's in the Indian Ocean.
Yep. It's an island.
I'd like to know how to pronounce it. Mauritius. I'm going to go with Mauritius.
Is Tias a delicacy?
Mauritius.
Would you like some Mauritius?
No.
Hold on.
Mauritius.
Mauritius.
Like Aloysius.
Oh, I like that.
It's a country in East Africa, Joe.
Well, it's in the Indian Ocean.
Mauritius.
Oh, that's more elegant than Mauritius, isn't it? All right,
Mauritius.
thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
On this day,
Joe, today...
we're in the traveling Lymans.
That's right. Today is November 24th.
Well, on this day in 1864, Governor Stephen Miller declared a Thanksgiving holiday in accordance with President Abraham Lincoln's recommendation that the last Thursday in November be used for this purpose. Minnesota had celebrated Thanksgiving Day before, but usually in December. On this day,
November 24.
In 1859, architect Cass Gilbert was born in Ohio. Gilbert's family moved to St. Paul in 1868, and he began his career there. Among his most recognizable buildings are the 3rd Minnesota State Capitol. I believe that's the current one. The U.S. Supreme Court building and Manhattan's Woolworth building. On this day in sports disappointment history.
Who would we lose to on November 24?
On this day in 1962, penalties in the final minutes cost Gophers the Big Ten championship and a trip to the Rose Bowl. That must have been a bleak day, huh?
I bet.
On this day,
November 24.
In 1979, my dear departed friend Scott Ledoux lost the World Heavyweight title bout to Mike Weaver.
He called you on your birthday.
Well, or me, him. We had the same birthday.
Right.
Same year born. On this day,
on November 24th,
in 1996, it just says miraculous catch by Ed McCaffrey. I don't know what that, I don't know
they
what that
lost to
means.
the Broncos.
I don't know what that means.
I think they lost to the Broncos.
And finally, on this day,
Joe, today is November 24th.
In 2001, contraction news. Alabama businessman Donald Watkins said he wanted to buy the Twins. What? He didn't have a dime, did he?
Yeah, $150.
Pat's in the green room.
You know
He
what?
was chuckling.
On second thought, maybe they should have just contracted the franchise.
Right. Well, the way it's looking now, the Vikings should be contracted.
Yes, sir.
Boy, are they bad. Ooh-wee.
Thank you.
Thanks, GLers.
Hey, thanks for coming out to play.
Yeah.
Do us a favor if you haven't done so already. Hit subscribe on the Garage Logic YouTube channel. That's right. Garage Logic has a YouTube channel, and you can watch the show each and every single day starting right around noon. You can also see full segments, video shorts, behind-the-scenes footage. It's all there for you. Just search Garage Logic on YouTube along with all of our social media channels, which includes Facebook, Instagram, and X. And you can also sign up for the Daily Logician. That's an email that comes right to your inbox each and every single day, and it includes the most recent episode of the podcast. Find out more and sign up today at garagelogic.com. Time once again to check in with our guy, Mr. Money Talk. Josh Arnold is with us once again right here in Garage Logic, and now is the time for you to do the same. So do not delay. Do exactly what I did and pick up that phone and dial 952-925-5608. That number once again is 952-925-5608. When you call that number, you're going to get Josh, and he is there for you for that free, yes, I use the word free, 48-minute financial consultation with absolutely zero obligation. And he will always give you the straight talk. He will never give you the sugar-coated advice. And he is on the line with us once again right here in Garage Logic. And boy, Josh, we lost it, didn't we?
We lost it. It was not just the Vikings losing on Sunday. It wasn't just the Twins giving up, or say Twins management giving up on the season, trading away an entire relief staff. The market today lost a very, very good opportunity with last night's NVIDIA earnings, a beat and raise quarter. NVIDIA, the chip company that specializes in chips for games with their GPUs that have been expanded for cryptocurrency mining and now to artificial intelligence. And the run in artificial intelligence is not even 3 years old, and the talking heads and others are saying, well, it's a bubble. The AI thing is a bubble. Too much is being spent, and there might not be enough revenue generated. During the run-up, all you talking heads are encouraging people to buy. This was the next best thing. Now, a year after we've had a significant move up after companies, whether it be Google or Meta or Microsoft or favorite Amazon, were spending money, and there are many other companies spending money on build-out of data centers and building on artificial intelligence. The same people that said this is the next best thing are saying, well, maybe not, better get out now. And listening to them, which I am not, but do have to pay attention because they do have an impact on market behavior, whether through individuals or through the machines, do have an influence on a day-to-day basis. If I had listened to the talking heads on Apple over the last 20-plus years that I have owned and traded the stock, I would have been out at the equivalent of $5. Apple today trading at $270. You can do the math. The same is true of Amazon. You do the math. Chip companies might be a different animal, at least to me. They do have a cycle, but the cycle, we'll say, for a company like NVIDIA could be a lot longer, and the use cases for their chips could be far greater than many people think, because there are always newer use cases that seem to be developed. Plus, NVIDIA does sell their chips around the world, including adding some new sales along with trade deals being negotiated by the president. Yet today, NVIDIA, when they reported their earnings last night, beat and raised their guidance. They answered a lot of questions that the talking heads had. The stock opened up at $195 a share, $9 above where it closed yesterday. And in the last half hour, a little more than the last half hour, as we record this, NVIDIA stock has traded down to $185 a share. And this has led a lot of selling in other high-profile names, whether it's another favorite, another company that beat and raised. And we've said that this company is very expensive, price to sales, price to earnings basis, but they are still growing at a rapid rate. Palantir has lost 5% in the last hour. Google hit a new high. They're down a couple percent from their high. Microsoft, which has been down recently, also sold off with the market. Now, part of this, NVIDIA is still the largest company by market capitalization on the S&P 500 and on NASDAQ. So where the selling begins in these stocks, it kind of accelerates, and we've gone over this before, due to indexers also selling, and the selling by the indexers begets some more selling within the individual names and so forth and so on until it is exhausted and then tends to reverse over a period of time. at the same time that's happened, giving up these gains, this provides an opportunity to utilize some of the cash as part of our asset allocation mix to start picking up smaller lots of these leading names, which I believe will move upwards, not in a straight line, of course, over the course of the next year. I'm still very bullish, as you're aware, of Apple and Amazon. NVIDIA, because it's a chip company, to me still represents some good trading opportunity. I do like Palantir for its utilization of artificial intelligence as well. What is causing some of this pullback and very rapid pullback? Something that I've always been mindful of or a little worried of. What is going to cause the market to go down? It's not going to be interest rates. It's not a housing bubble anymore. It's the amount of money that people have been putting into cryptocurrency, and also the number of people that have bought, or companies that have bought cryptocurrencies. And that's been done on, we'll say, significant leverage. Bitcoin today dropped below $90,000 a coin, now in bear market territory, and could go a little bit further. This has brought down a whole host of companies that are related or tied to the Bitcoin and the other cryptocurrencies. I am not one to invest in cryptocurrencies nor recommend them, and you've heard that for a long time from me. But right now, when crypto is coming down and you are using borrowed money to acquire cryptocurrency, the margin clerk and accountant will say at a firm, and when that goes down and you've got to cover that margin, you're either going to sell the cryptocurrency or sell something else. When the margin clerk calls, you've got to act yesterday. And that, unfortunately, is what's happening, but it does provide an opportunity to go into some outstanding companies that are still growing their sales and growing their earnings, something that cryptocurrency or other, we'll say, commodity or hard assets are not going to do.
Excellent advice.
Just an aside, Walmart put out their numbers, a beat and raise, and they're taking customers from the local Red Circle company.
Excellent advice, as always, Mr. Money Talk. You heard him, GLers. Now is the time for you to pick up the phone and make the call for that free 48-minute financial consultation with absolutely zero obligation. And you do that just like I did by dialing 952-925-5608, where you always get straight talk and never, ever sugar-coated advice. Josh, once again, thank you so much for the time and the chat. Enjoy the rest of your day. Have a fantastic weekend, and we'll talk to you again next week.
Look forward to it. Thanks, Chris.
Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC, a security investment advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice.
Chris Reavers is a paid endorsed